Hello and welcome everyone, this is Rufus Shinra from the Shinra Corporation, and as you can see today I decided to become Cordial. He's basically my new most wanted champion since they released it, and I was really happy to stumble upon someone who came up with an extremely powerful clan boss team centered around him. Now, a few disclaimers: this team requires some very specific champions. We will talk about some possible variations as well. And as far as I know, it works only on Void, but boy oh boy can it do some damage. So I'm going to show you the setup, how it is done, and once that is out of the way, I will go through the builds, the setups, the masteries, and the gear that made such damage possible. One disclaimer: this comp does big numbers. So without further ado, I'll let you enjoy the run. Alright, so here we are. The comp is composed of the following. We have Cardiel front and center. We have 2 rush cards and a Feign and a Seeker. So it's inspired from the Batman Forever comp by Deadwood Jedi. Big shout out to you. Tipping my proverbial hat. And yeah, it's a 3-turn setup. You basically need to delay the fast rush cards. This one, the fast rush cards block damage for 3 turns. You need to delay Cardiel's A2 with the one that blocks debuffs and that places block debuffs as well. That cleanses debuffs and that places block debuffs as well for 2 turns, just so that you could avoid the first stun. The rest is up to you, as long as you use you rotate through the other attacks from Feign and from Seeker normally, and it's all good. So you could use the block damage as I did from the first turn on the second rush card, and all will be very nice. So the particularity of this comp is there is huge damage output from Cordial. He's not just there to boost the others and to organize the ally attack. He has a built-in passive which allows him to attack whenever one of his allies land a hit, so he can join his allies with a set percentage. I will show the attack somewhere around here on the passive. The other skill that he has, or the other particularity, is the fact that he's geared in Relentless and he can pack a punch. He does have some very good multipliers, so all those things combined make this comp a very damaging comp and a very strong one. So now we were already in auto by turn 2, and the team will keep going, will keep shredding. You will see some big numbers every now and then, and I will let you enjoy the massacre, and I'll meet you back for the results, the analysis, and the gear, the tuning, and the masteries. And boom, 112 million damage on Ultra Nightmare. Take a look at the individual damage for each of these characters. I'll move my head. So, big boy here, Cordial, he's got 28 million Then Fane is the first because she's the DPS after all. 29 million, pretty close though. 21 million from Seeker, 16 million from Rush Guard, and 17 million from the other Rush Guard. Close to 30 mil from Cordial with no poisons. This is how powerful this guy is, running 50 turns, but so many more extra turns and so many more procs of that passive make it this powerful. Fane also, imagine if this was a Dracomorph, we would be seeing numbers like 40 mil or more, then the total sum will be even bigger than this. Alright, so now let's move on to the build. So before going through the build, let's review his ally attack, his A3 Heavenly Host. So it places a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased crit damage, pretty much what Farrakhan the Fat does. Then it teams up with all allies to attack a target enemy. Decreases the cooldown of this skill by 1 turn if an enemy is killed from this attack. This doesn't apply in clan boss, but still, those buffs that he applies and the rotation, how quickly he can rotate through it, especially in Relentless, makes it a tremendous skill. His A2 is just a nice to have here. Basically, it does help with the stun a few times, but as the team goes 2-1, it will not consistently land the block buffs as we wanted, but it places a block debuffs and revive on death on all allies. Then we check the passive. So this is also a big part of his damage. First of all, there is the decreased damage from champions of a specific faction. We're not relying on this specifically here. And whenever an ally attacks, he has 15% chance to team up with them and join the ally attack. If we had to see a flame tongue the attack, he would always join, but still. This opens up some pretty interesting possibilities with this duo specifically, but even if you don't have Sia, as you've seen, the 15% does stack a lot through 50 turns of Unkillable. So it was good thinking to rely on this attack to buff the damage, and again, this 15% can climb up once it is booked, and it is booked right now, so yeah, very powerful passive, if anything, on clan boss. Now onto the Masteries. So these are his Masteries, very classic Unkillable or clan boss setup with the offense tree. I'm assuming that you know what every one of these Masteries does. So the main thing here is War Master down the tree. And we have a little bit of support tree to add some more HP to him and to give him lasting gifts and allow him to rotate quicker. So this is also important for this setup, since we don't really care about the rotation of his abilities as they don't affect the Unkillable. We want him to cycle through them as fast as possible and bring as many ally attacks as possible. So every 5% proc from Cycle of Magic counts, and this is why he has this mastery. The same for lasting gifts. It can help with the block debuffs, extending it from 2 turns to 3 turns, helping the team not get too many stuns. Now onto the gear. So as you can see, our Cordial is in Relentless and Cruel to have that extra defense ignore from Cruel. And he's rocking crit damage gloves, he's rocking attack boots, he's rocking attack chest, and I think he's in speed boots actually, not attack boots. I will display all the total stats in a little bit here next to each one of the characters. So the exact speed he needs to run at is 127. You can, of course, I'm not sure that you can play around too much with these, but it's basically the same as the Batman Forever. So there is a little bit of lenience on the DPSs, Cardiel and Fane. The exact speeds need to be more on rush cards, and the interval of speed need to be also precise on Seeker. But here he's running at 127. Speed, no accuracy needed, big crit damage, and big crit rate. 100% crit rate almost. Actually, it's 101. At 4k attack, this does the trick. Now, moving on to the rush cards. First rush card at 222 speed, decent attack at close to 4k attack, and 250 crit damage almost with close to perfect crit rate. This is something that we'll notice throughout the whole teams. All of them have perfect, if not close to perfect crit rate. stats like these. So 222, 307, 3700, 248 and 98 here. We don't need accuracy, we don't need anything else. This is the let's say the slow rush card. We have a second rush card which is a little bit faster. For the skills, all of his skills are booked for the extra damage and the cooldowns. This is important. And for the masteries, we're running a defense plus an offense 3 to give him a chance to counterattack whenever hit, but with the block damage, the counterattacks don't proc at all actually. So for the fast rush card here, we're looking at his stats. He's at 3,600 attack, a little bit more than the previous one, 247 speed, 99% crit rate, come on man, get that extra 1%, and 222 crit damage with no regard whatsoever to accuracy or to resistance. As far as the gear goes, we have some pretty cool pieces here, and same as the first rush card when it comes to masteries. This is our boy Seeker. So the Seeker will be running exactly 233 speed. I believe there is a little bit of leniency here, but I would suggest to follow this exact setup if you wanted to reproduce it on your account. Should you have two rush cards, or actually it can work with a rush card and a warcaster. I don't have the exact tuning in mind, but you can do your own research and do some testing and you might get it to work. I believe that trying to use the same tuning might help it work, but don't take it from me. I haven't tested it yet. I haven't delved deep enough on it. So 233 speed on the Seeker, 99% crit rate, 243 crit damage, and 3.6 attack. So these are the stats our Seeker is rocking. For the masteries, same thing as the other two rush cards, defense and offense 3 with Warmaster. And finally, last but not least, big girl Fane. Look at that player power. She's at 62,000 player power, which indicates big damage. So she's at 5.4k attack. She's at 203 speed, 105 crit rate, and 260 crit damage with decent accuracy at 246, so that she can land all her necessary debuffs. This is the Fane, and as you saw, she was the one that did the most damage in the comp. Some of the pieces that she is sporting are crazy. I don't know if I recorded the footage or not, but I remember clearly that she was wearing very fast attack boots with a triple speed roll from the Relentless set. Again, she and Cordial are both in Relentless, which actually explains all the damage that they do. Alright, so yeah, this was our comp spotlight. On the red one, as you can see, 112 million damage on Ultra Nightmare in one key. This is no small accomplishment, and I really had fun showcasing it and trying out Cordial. Hopefully I'll be able to get him soon on my account and do some cool things with him. Right, so this concludes our video today. I hope you enjoyed this big damage as much as I did. Let me know if you ever try to pull this comp with a rush card or with a warcaster instead of a rush card, or if you have any ideas of variations based on it. I'll be very much interested into seeing that damage. Again, thank you very much for the continuing support. You've been awesome. Recently we're inching again closer to the 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers goals. I will leave a bunch of links here to other videos if you haven't seen them, and much love from up above. Thanks as always, and this is Rufus Shinra signing out.